how to fall asleep fast. It happens to all of us. You go to work, you come home, you wind down for your day, you feel like you're super tired, you go to get in bed and nothing. You just lay there tossing and turning. But in this video, I'm gonna show you some great ways to fall asleep fast, and I have something special from a neurologist that will show you how to fall asleep in less than 2 minutes. Listen, I had it all wrong when I thought about sleep. I work on a drilling rig. I used to work lots of nights, and I would always get up early. I'd go to bed at like 6 a.m. Then I'd get up at like 11, 10, 11-ish. And then the boys would be like, what are you doing? When do you sleep? And I'd be like, oh, I'll sleep when I'm dead. Well, listen to what Matt Walker has to say about that. He wrote a book all about sleep, and that is exactly what will happen. If you don't sleep, you're shortening your life. And once I learned this, then I began to take steps to actually change it. And trust me, it didn't take that long. The first thing you need to do is keep the room cool. I have one of those thermostats that has the timer, so I just set it up so that at night, 9 o'clock, the temperature starts to go down and then the whole house cools down. I've been telling the kids, they're like, oh, it's cold down here, but I've been telling them, hey, it's better to sleep when it's cool because your body temperature has to drop a couple of degrees for you to fall asleep. You'll stay asleep longer too if it's cool too. If you get hot, the chances of you waking up are increased. Now, I took it one step further at work because I stay in this 40-foot trailer when I'm out at the drilling rig, and each end kind of has its own section, but the temperature controller is in one end only, and the heat is all the same. So what I bought was one of those Uller chili pads to keep my body cool. So when I get into bed, this thing, it has like a little machine with, cycles the water through this pad, and it keeps me cool because I run hot. I've always run hot. I'm always usually never cold, but they're the two things that I do to keep cool while I'm sleeping. The next thing I do is I like to run some noise in my room. Now, we used to do this with our kids, when they were smaller, even when they were babies, you turn a fan on in the room. I have one of these things off of Amazon. They're just little, it's a noisemaker. It has like river sounds, white noise sounds, rain sounds, all these different sounds. You can get them for your phone too. And I think just this helps you fall asleep. I know out at the drilling rig, I never had any of those things for a long time, but even the noise of generators out there would help me, to fall asleep. And I know even sometimes, if something would change, it would wake me up. But that consistent noise, I think, helps you fall asleep, and it helps you to not get disrupted from, some external noises that may be out in the street in your neighborhood or maybe outside. So get some noise that you like, that you can listen to all night long. Okay, this next one is a tough one. No phone in your room. Now, I know this is really hard, but get an alarm clock. Since I've started doing this, I have less disruptions to my sleep, less chance of reaching over and grabbing that phone, because I started a bad habit of doing that. If I couldn't fall asleep, I just go back on my phone, for 5 minutes. 2 hours later, I'm laying there, right? And the light from the phone, everything that's on the phone to distract you, right? Those things are built by teams of people to keep you on them as long as possible. So just don't have the temptation near you. The likelihood of you getting up and getting out of bed and going to another room to grab your phone are slim to none. So just keep it out of the room. Also, keep the room dark as you can get it. Pitch black is even better. I have my room at work. I open my eyes, close my eyes, I can't even tell the difference. It's awesome. Okay, this is an interesting one because your mattress, it's kind of crazy. Well, I looked up some statistics on this, and most people don't change their mattresses. They won't spend $800, $1,000, $1,500 to change their mattress every, 2 or 3 years or whatever they recommended. But, we all buy a new phone every 2 years for $1,800, right? And you think about it, the phone, sure, it's important in your life, I guess. Whether it's doing a lot of good things or more bad things, that's debatable. But you do sleep every night and you're in your bed every night. So make sure your mattress is comfortable, whether it's firm or soft, whatever you like. If your back's hurting, they can be some of the signs. If you wake up every morning, your back's hurting, then the mattress probably isn't good. So get your sleep area straight. Okay, now that we got our sleep setup complete, now I want to talk to you about a few things to set up your bedtime routine. Listen, couple hours, 2-3 hours before bed, no food and no devices. That light from your device, it's just not good. It disrupts your sleep. You got to remember, our circadian rhythm was developed off the sun's pattern. So we'd get up when the sun came up, we'd go to sleep when the sun would go down. Now, if you have this artificial light, it's just disrupting that pattern. So really try to stay off your phone. I know this is hard. I have a hard time with it too. But even if it's an hour, a half hour before you go to bed, dim the lights, set up that time and that place for your sleep so that you can maximize your sleep and make sure you get that restorative sleep to clean your brain, to let your body rest, to let your body heal. It just does so many more things than you can believe. Okay, this next thing has been an absolute game changer for me. I have a steam shower in my house, and so I started to learn about the benefits of the steam, and then I noticed when I would get out of it, I'd be a little bit tired, you know, after I'd cool off. And so I thought, I'm gonna give this a try before bed. And I started getting a steam before bed, and what I noticed was that my temperature would drop. I'd be in the steam, obviously get heated up, come out, my temperature would drop, and I would feel sleepy, and I'd get into bed and I'd fall asleep way faster. Now, I know what you're saying. I don't have a steam shower at my house or a steam room or whatever. Well, listen, I got you covered, because on Amazon you can get one for like 120 bucks. My buddy told me about this. His kids are wrestlers. James, one of the guys that I work with, and he was like, yeah, you can get these portable ones. So I actually ordered one and got it at work, and it's this little tent thing. I'll show you in another video, and it's amazing. I get in it every night. It doesn't get as hot as my steam at home, but it does the trick. And it helps me, you know, get rid of toxins, does all the things, all the benefits of a steam without the high temperature. And then when I get out, my body dumps all that heat and I fall asleep faster. So you got no excuses, give it a try. You could also jump in the shower or get a bath too. I've done that as well. You don't have to get the steam shower. Almost everybody has a bath, almost everybody has a shower. Crank it as hot as you can and give that a try. Okay, last, there's a few supplements that I take sometimes. Sometimes I'll take some melatonin. I think you gotta be careful with that one though. Andrew Huberman recommends a few different things. PS 100, look that stuff up, that's pretty good too. Of course, the number one thing I think that's great, you know, most people are deficient in it anyway, is magnesium. There's a bunch of different types. L-threonate is the best one for sleeping. I'd be careful with sleeping pills and stuff, prescription stuff from the doctor. Sometimes they're addicted, and there's a lot of studies showing that they actually don't help you. I try and fix the problem in a natural way first. Okay, I told you we're gonna get some tips from a neuroscientist, and Andrew Huberman is an amazingly smart guy. I love his podcast. A few of the biggest things that I learned from him, the first one was resetting your circadian rhythm, which can get messed up depending how your sleep cycle's going, depending on the time of year, depending if you're traveling, depending if you're flying, depending if you work shift work. And that's getting sunlight in your eyes in the morning. This has made a huge difference for me. I actually stopped working nights at work because of some of the things that I learned from him. And I think this has made, you know, one of the big differences. The other thing that he recommends to try and do is try and keep your wake up and your sleep times pretty close to the same. So I've made some adjustments there, because when I come home, my wife is a bit of a night owl and she wants me to stay up later, but when I'm at work, I tend to go to bed earlier because I got to get up at between 4 and 5 in the morning, get to the safety meeting, and get over to work. So, you know, try and keep that as close as you can. I try and keep it within an hour. I told my wife, listen, I just want to go to bed a little earlier just to help my sleep cycle. And then when I'm changing from work to home, it doesn't disrupt me as much. And you know, I've been wearing my Whoop band, and honestly, since I've implemented all these things, you know, I noticed what time I went to bed and what time my Whoop actually picks up that I was falling asleep, and it was literally 11.1 seconds one time, right? And it's been getting better and better and better with all these tricks. Just start to implement them slow and you'll notice a huge difference. And as a result, you're gonna live longer.